welcome to our first episode of Sisterhood Chronicles, Guide to Faith and Fun. I'm Glo.
I'm Naya.
And I'm Ice, welcoming you to our childhood memories. So, as we were talking about how we want to proceed with our episodes, we wanted to talk about introducing ourselves, our upbringing, how we were brought up. We're from different cultures, different backgrounds. So it's nice to connect that way. And we thought, what better way to talk about our childhood but to share you our childhood snacks. So me, Ice, I grew up from the Philippines. And these are the snacks that we enjoy growing up. I have here Mang Juan. This is not sponsored, by the way. This is called chicharon. Chicharon can be put in a lot of dishes in the Philippines, but you can also have it as a snack on its own. And I have here chocolate wafer sticks. They're really fun. I remember growing up, we would use it like a cigarette, just like it is as it is.
Wait a minute.
We have obviously Philippines dried mango, very familiar, very famous.
Yeah.
Very famous. Piatos, I know one of our young adults coordinator leaders slash shout out Kelsey. This is one of our favorites as well, sour cream and onion. I have here crinkles, chocolate crinkles. I think I've heard from one of our young adults last night that this is also a common food here in Canada.
Crinkles.
Crinkles,
I haven't
yeah.
heard of it before.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it like a chocolate cookie?
Kind of, but well, why don't we open and try it? That's what they're here for. And the last one that I have is clover chips. Oops. Clover chips, also one of the cheesy stuff that I like. When I was growing up, these things, they're easy to come by. You can buy them at a regular store, but you have to earn them. Like, you can just get them whenever. I remember I would have to study first before I'm able to eat these snacks.
Yeah.
And that's just how it is for our household. Wow, this is giving me a hard time. But I hope we all have water to drink because this might be a little bit dry.
There. Oh
Try it.
my gosh. Yeah,
Chocolate crinkles. Oh, let's try it out.
Okay, ready?
Mm-hmm.
It's just like brownie.
With sugar
Yeah.
powder,
Yeah.
sugar. I like it. It's better when it's freshly baked, obviously. Any type of baked goods. Yeah.
I would put this on top of ice cream.
Oh yes. I would too. Glo, why don't you introduce the one that you have for us today?
I am African, specifically Congolese. I grew up with something called chapati. It's not non-common. I know like Indian culture has chapati, Africa as well, but many cultures have it. But I grew up specifically with it because I used to live in Uganda, and that's where chapati was introduced to me. It's so good. For me, what it reminds me of is honestly like joy.
Wow.
And the joy of like, being a kid.
Where'd you get this from?
I made it.
Ooh, she made it.
Because not that you can't buy it in a store, but I think it's more authentic when you make it yourself. You eat it with. It's honestly good by itself because that's how good it is. But you can eat it with meat. It's really, really, really good. I ate it with the peanut soup, like the
Kare-kare.
Kare-kare. I ate it with kare-kare. It's so good.
Oh.
I'm actually half Filipino if you didn't know. I learned one word and I thought I was it. I learned Ipatai. Yeah,
Ipatai, yeah. Girls would like saying that.
But yeah, it's really good. You guys actually can try it. You take it, here you go, and then you roll it.
Is there a certain way of rolling it? It's just roll it.
You just roll it and you eat it, babe.
This is really similar to what I had growing up too, actually.
Oh.
Yeah, like
So back
chapati
Oh my
and
gosh.
roti are the same thing, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty good. I'm trying it.
How is it?
I like that it's so light. I really like
Mm-hmm.
it.
It's good.
I can imagine it with kare kare right now.
Mm-hmm.
You're so right. Like with meat,
so good. And not just like barbecued meat, like on a skewer. Like, oh my
Mhm.
gosh, it's so good. Oh,
Amazing.
This is so nice.
I like it.
I would eat it with any type of meat, I think. Even with like, I can imagine it also with like feta cheese, tomatoes. I can imagine it with a cucumber.
Yeah.
It just feels refreshing. Yeah, try it, guys. Chapati.
chapati.
No, I only have
You
for us.
guys feel like having a drink or something a little bit spicy?
Ooh.
When you said spicy, I said, this is where I'm out.
This girl can handle spice well.
I can't.
Okay. I'm excited for you to try it then. So I'm gonna start off with this one. This is kurkure.
Kurkure.
Kurkure. This is like a go-to snack as a kid.
Mm.
Story time. They actually like discontinued them for the longest time
Oh, how come?
because they were so unhealthy.
Oh.
They were so bad for you.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, my
Are they better
siblings
for us
and I-
now?
They're better now. So they're like,
Not while being concerned about her health.
Yeah, okay. Whatever.
so I would love for you to just have a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's dying inside.
Mm.
Do it with the cheese. Maybe the cheese would help.
Yeah.
The crinkle cheese came back from me.
But these are so, so good.
I really like this chapati.
Mm,
I'm
it's
really
so
enjoying it.
Yeah, it's so good. No, I actually know it's not bad.
Yeah.
I really just have a low spice tolerance,
Okay.
like
Mhm.
down to the ground.
Okay. This is still like, this is a chili chakka flavor. There's a masala munch flavor. That was the one we would always get. We can't find it anymore. So, so good. Okay, out of 10, how do we rate this?
I would rate it as 8.5.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's a good rate.
out of 10. Yeah, so as we go through the snacks, I think it's really nice to go back to our upbringing, to where we started, and because our upbringing speaks a lot about who we are now,
Yeah.
right? For myself, like I said earlier, these snacks I have to earn it. I don't have an allowance to buy these things. I have to ask to buy these things, and through that, I learned the value of studying. Education is like one of the biggest things that my mom especially has taught us, that knowledge is the best thing that you can have, but at the same time it's the only thing that no one can steal away from you. Growing up, we're not really wealthy, like we live comfortably, I would say, but education is something that she would always be like, no matter how many people tried to put you down, no matter how many people tried to say, especially when I was a child, I was a chubby child. And I got bullied for being chubby as a child. You guys, I forgiven you. Yeah, growing up, we would always have to study, and then like whenever we get bullied, at the back of my mind, it's like I'm smarter than you.
Yeah.
Probably not a good response, but that's what it was for me growing
Yeah.
up. It's like I have my brain, I have medals at the end of the year. So we have at the end of the year we always have recognition, graduation, whatever for each student, and it will always be like me and my sister, both of us will always have one of the students with the most medals in our grade.
Wow.
Like one year we got 14 medals, another year we got 12 medals. We're always like we're known for that. And it's not about bragging. It's just about I'm not bragging anything at all. It's just more of like the way I value education now is because how we were brought up.
Yeah.
And these things, yes, they're treats. And now I'm glad that I can buy them whenever I want, but I still don't. I still see it as like you know how you're sometimes like, oh, I work hard, I deserve this. That's what it is for me. Yeah. How about you girls?
Yeah, I grew up in a house full of like comparison,
Mm.
and with comparison came like comparison of grades.
Mm.
And it's funny because like at our church Horizon, hey, we like not last week, but like 2 weeks ago, like Pastor Daniel was talking about comparison and how that's a killer of joy, or it's a thief of joy. And I recognize that because I think when I grew up in a household of comparison, like when I was younger, like it was easier for me to kind of like, because like let's say I get compared right now, after a while I forget about them. I'm a kid, right? It doesn't really stick to me. But I think because it was such a constant comparison, I started internalizing that for myself as well too. But then it started off as other, like my mom comparing me, and I think she might have not recognized it a little bit, but it was such a constant thing in my life. And then I started taking that for myself, and then I started comparing myself to other people just because for me, like as sad as it was, comparison was very normal in my household. Like that's just what happens. Like I need to be better than her, or like oh like she has better clothes than me, or I need to be smarter than me. I think what like it would. I think of it like it would have been better if I was compared to something that was like unrealistic, but because the people or the things I was compared to were things that are technically reachable, and I could actually achieve it, it made me feel that much worse just because like oh like I'm not achieving it. You know what I mean?
Do you get compared with your family members too?
For sure. And again, like we live together, and I'm looking at Sarah, my sister, like, oh, I need to be as thin as her. I need to be as that as her. And again, I don't think I think I have to learn to give also my parents credit and grace because, like, I think it's either they just they're parenting me in the way that they knew, or they're in the way that they were taught. So it's not like they want to do this, but like yeah, it hurt because it's like oh like I'm trying to be here and there, but like I really can't. And then that comparison on top of that, I was like, oof.
That's
You know what I mean?
bringing it up
And
even
even,
more.
and my dad was a pastor too, so it's like, as a pastor's kid, like it's our expectations are even like higher. You know what I mean? So that's so then not just comparison from like my mom and dad, but like comparison from people looking with
Entire congregation.
entire congregation. You know what I mean? People, I was definitely held up to a
Higher standard.
higher standard than most kids. Our whole family was just because, like, our people and our dad was is a well known pastor. At least what we're from, like in Winnipeg. So people they looked at us like, oh, like, yeah, and I know to an extent kids are like a representation of how you were brought up by your parents. But like yeah, like because of like comparison, and then like on top of that, we don't want to make our parents look bad.
Yeah.
So then it definitely yeah, my childhood was very much like comparison filled, and then I think with that brought so many things because then you're trying to achieve whatever that you're being compared to, and then not being able to achieve that, it brings you back a step because it's like oh then if I don't achieve it like my parents said I couldn't, then that means they're right. That means like I am that bad, or I am whatever that they're saying that I am. You know what I mean?
How are you now with comparisons though?
Like obviously as a child your response will be different, but as an adult I feel like maybe at this point it's not about what they say anymore. It's about how I value myself, how I see myself. One of the girls from our young adults last night she said that her mom's she's also Filipina, she's also like that, being compared to all the time. Oh, your cousin is a nurse, this and that, because it's a common thing for Filipinos. You're expected to be a nurse for some reason. But anyway, she was saying that I've learned to understand that each and every one of us are different. I've come to appreciate the differences between different people, and she values herself. Even whatever other people are saying to her, she's like, I know I'm a child of God. I know that God put me in a position as this because I have a different role to play. I am not a nurse right now, but I have a different role to play in the whole picture, in the bigger picture of the kingdom. So maybe for you, I'm not saying it's a perfect formula, but it might be not because of what they say anymore. You're trying to be what they want you to be anymore. It's about how you value yourself, how you see yourself. And one of the things that Pastor Daniel said from Horizon too is that when you question yourself by comparing yourself with other people, you're questioning God. God really made me this way? Like, am I not perfect? Am I not created in His image? and am I not perfectly, wonderfully made, beautifully, wonderfully made, right? So I think comes from comparison from other people. Then you start comparing yourself with other people. Then we combat that with feeding ourselves with the word of God. You know, like who am I in His eyes? Who am I in God's kingdom? What role do I play? Do I need to be someone, or do I need to be what God created me to be?
Yeah, and we think about like the body of Christ.
Yeah.
Where and I was talking about this yesterday, where like God is so intentional with the way He names things or what He calls things or how He orchestrates things, and we're called the body of Christ for a reason. We need each other, right? What I can do and what I can do, and I might not be called for. Or because like we even thinking about like singing, I can sing, we can all sing, but somebody like Katie or Elena, they're more maybe called. That's the feel that they're called to more than we are. Doesn't mean I'm not bad. I'm bad at it, but I'm just saying it's not my calling.
Yeah.
Or we can have a good way of talking, or we know how to say some good things. But somebody like Daniel, maybe his calling is obviously being a pastor, or Pastor Craig, his calling is being a pastor as well. It doesn't mean we're bad people, but that's what God has ordained them to do.
Yeah.
So therefore, that's what they're doing. And I think once we have confidence in what God has called us to, I think it's easier to combat a lot of those comparison that we build within ourselves. And we're back. As much as that was such a heavy topic, why not just end the video with just some great memories of what it was like being a child. For me, the best parts about being a child, I remember a good memory of my mom. Like obviously as a child, remember how like for me $1 was like $10,000 like dollars. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm rich, I'm gonna get a house. But I used to I used to go to like this like church event when I was younger, and like my pastor gave me like $1, and I used to come with my dad. I was like, Dad, like look what they gave me. I made money. Like I made money. You know what I mean? I thought I was like rich. Like call me CEO Globe. So then I remember I went home. I was like, Mom, I want to buy the whole house pizza. And like, what is $1 gonna do? So she's like, you wanna buy people pizza? Like, okay, let's go buy pizza. And then we went to like Boston Pizza that was close to our house, and I was like, no, Mom, I will pay for it. I got this. Okay, I have $1.
She's a provider.
I got this. And then I remember like she paid with her card, but she like I don't know if she told like the customer person to just indulge me or anything, but I was like, yeah, it's on the house. And then I remember I gave the $1 away, like. And then like my mom was like wow, like Glow bought you guys pizza, like you guys need to say thank you to her. And it was such a fun moment, and it was just nice. It felt it's a warm comfort that I felt, and I didn't let anybody breathe after that. I was like, remember when I bought you pizza? Yeah. But what now? Don't ever say anything.
Give me pizza.
Exactly. Don't ever say I didn't do anything good for you. But yeah, like for I think like
that's
a good
so
2
cute.
months. Like obviously now I know I didn't buy that pizza, but I still remember it as if I did, even though I know I didn't. But that's how I remember it, because my mom like just.
That was so sweet of your
that
mom.
moment. Yeah,
Support you in that.
for sure.
I love that. I think the big like joy of like childhood memories is that parents play into it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that wonder only happens if the parents are able to be like, yeah, Santa is real.
Mhm.
Like, let me dress up and let me do this thing for you. And like,
Yeah.
yes, we can buy a pizza with $1.
Yeah.
Look how amazing you are as a kid. I
You're
think
very
it's so
supportive in
amazing.
that.
Mhm.
Yeah. I think our childhood definitely, like I said earlier, it's our parents who make it the way they are.
Mhm.
And like for me, I actually have two favorite memory. I remember in our street in the Philippines, we have a friend group, all girls, and we called the group Perfect 10 because there's 10 girls.
Mhm.
And it's like siblings, like 5 sets of siblings. Me and my sister, twin sisters, another set of sisters, another set of sisters, another set of sisters.
Mhm.
Like we're all girls. And I remember the moms of like in that whole street, moms, including my mom, they would just like let us play after our nap time, after a siesta,
Mm-hmm.
and they would just like they would support us in whenever we played even like boyish games. We would play that, and I remember so much my mom being proud of me and my sister when we are able to like compete with the other girls. And there's this thing called Chinese garter. It's
Yeah.
literally a line, like a garter line, and you jump over it,
Mm-hmm.
and it goes as high as like on top of your head, and people like, well, I was a child then, but I don't know how far I'm gonna be. But like, I remember my mom being so proud. She's just like cheering us on. That was such a great memory. I feel like being cheered on is one of the greatest feelings ever, even now, right? That's why we hype each other up.
Mm-hmm.
And another favorite memory I have is it was Christmas. At the time in the Philippines, we had the like it's not a big house, but we had the biggest house in the family. And my mom is the youngest of 8. So you can just imagine how many cousins I have, first cousins and aunts and uncles. So we would gather at our house, and the way we did Christmas then is on the 24th we gather, have dinner, the street is closed, like no vehicles coming in and out, just kids playing around.
Mm-hmm.
And then my parents would always have games available for the cousins, aunts, and uncles. We just have the entire day preparing for the night off Christmas Eve. So they'll have games, they have prizes, they have like a lot of things. And then at the when midnight hits, like the 25th, is when we do Merry Christmas, and then when we open gifts. And it's such a fun memory for me because I remember doing everything with my cousins, with my aunts and uncles, everyone playing their role. Aunts and uncles preparing food, my grandma taking care of the garden, my mom helping with the gifts, my other aunts helping with the gifts, and us as kids, it's just so mesmerizing to see everyone work together just to celebrate Christmas. And that was I still have the picture of that, and that is such a good memory for me. Yeah.
That's so cool. I love that.
Love
Having
Christmas.
everybody together like that. And Christmas is such a special time. That's it.
Very much, yeah.
And I do feel like Christmas as a kid is so different than Christmas now.
Oh, yeah.
Just because of like the wonder. I feel like childhood lens on the whole world is just so lovely and so
Yeah.
pure when you're a kid. I love that. I have a similar really good memory, just like of being with family. So I'm the oldest kid in our family. But like I have my 2 younger siblings, and I would always be the one introducing them to games, introducing them, look at what I learned at school today. Let me show you guys.
so cool.
And they'd be like,
You're the cool
"Wow."
sister.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They'd cry. I tell them funny stories about myself to make them laugh while they're crying, or they got like scraped their knee or something. That's the way it used to be. And sometimes older siblings don't get that, right? Because they don't have that. But I feel like my uncle, who's 3 years older than me, he was always like a big brother to me.
Aww.
And I have a really, really great memory of us as a kid. I remember thinking he was the smartest person I ever met. He used to like watch National Geographic on the
Oh,
TV.
wow.
He would tell me about animals, he would tell me about the world. And so one time, I think it was summer, it was a really hot day. And it gets so hot, you're spending 30 minutes in the sun, your hair is like hot. It was like that. So my mom used to give us little water bottles to go play out into like our lawn at the time. And we had little white chairs there and flower pots. I think it was like we had a bunch of empty flower pots. It was just about springtime. We were about to fill them up. But my uncle and I, before the internet was really popular in our home, we were out under the sun, and he goes, Anaya, look at all the space we have. Look, we have chairs, we have flower pots, we have these like little bricks on the side. You know what we can do? Let's make our own kingdom right here.
Whoa.
And I was like, yes.
You're so
It was like, we can do that? It's so cool.
Yeah.
And so we dragged the chairs on one side of our backyard, and he was like, okay, this is the Great Wall of China, Anaya. And I'm like, what is that? That's so cool.
Yeah.
And I remember running back inside the house to refill my water bottle because it was so hot we were going through it. And I put it back on and like running outside to the backyard again and being like, okay, what's next? And we would put the flower pots and like set them all up in a certain way. Eventually, by the end of the evening, the whole backyard was a mess. Like nothing was where it was supposed to be. Like it was all over the place, and I just remember feeling so satisfied.
Yeah.
And my uncle was telling me, oh, so this is this part of the world. This is this part of the world. And so let's travel. Let's pretend we're on a boat and we're
Oh,
traveling
that
from here
is
to
so
here.
cool of your uncle.
Yeah. It was just so cool. Like, I never felt alone because my uncle was always like a big brother to me. And that's just like a memory of him that I really, really love. Or just imagining, playing. And I think the next day I woke up, I came back and everything was back where it was. And I was like, our world. Yeah.
I like how you pointed out that it was a mess, but it was perfect for you.
Yeah.
Because I think as a child, that's something that maybe at the time we took for granted. The joy of being a child, the joy of being able to do things and be messy and still find it fun. You know, and sure, our parents could be like, put that back into where they should be, but at the moment you're having so much fun, you couldn't care less of what, like I feel like children in general have more courage. Because they're like, I can do everything. Yeah. You can go to Great Wall of China, you can go to the Colosseum, you can, I don't know, but just like I feel like that's what I miss about being a child. If I would be given a chance to go back, I think I'll just relive the moments with family, with being messy. Because now, like I said, when I was a child, I wasn't able to get anything I want, but I didn't have the worries of I need to pay the bills, I need to pay the car, insurance, and all those things. And I think, if I were given a chance to go back in time, I would like to relive the moments, the Christmas moment where I'm with my cousins, my aunts and uncles. I would love to not care again about how much things cost. Maybe you would like to go back to $1 can buy a whole family pizza, right? It's such a good time to be a child.
For sure.
Yeah.
And that's been our podcast. Thank you for watching. Please hit the notification buttons if you want to see it. If you want to see our videos. And we would love to see you here. So stay blessed.
Stay grateful.
And stay faithful.
And have fun.
See you next
time. Dun, 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 dun.
Da 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 da.